Gift cluster. A particular set of gifts a leader possesses. That's what gift cluster is about. In some ways, you could summarize this in the statement that people are good at different things. Now, obviously, when you hear that, you go, well, of course, that's tautological almost. It's just obviously true. It's true because it is. Um, what I don't mean by that statement, though, necessarily, is that different people have things that they're good at that are different than those other people. Different people are good at different things. What I mean by that statement, that people are good at different things, is that a person has different things that they are good at. Almost, I've not met anyone that has one specific gift that's all they're good at. They're Johnny one note, and that one note is what they sing, and that's what they sing, and that's what they sing, and that's what they sing. In the realm of the church world, obviously, many people are familiar with the spiritual gifts test, and they try to find out, well, what is my primary gifting? My giftings helps, whatever. So one of the things to realize, though, is that there tends to be several key things that a person is gifted at. If you want to go with almost three, maybe four. So if you go with the gifts test analysis, if you will, throughout the decades, whenever I take a gifts test, the spiritual gifts test, anyway, it always comes back these four things in this order: is preaching, teaching, wisdom, and discernment. That's my gift cluster. Now, if you looked at that, you'd say, in many ways, that gift cluster is definitely keyed around verbal, it's keyed around the intellect, it's keyed around analysis and communication. Those are the things that I'm gifted at. And so my role as a preaching pastor, as a lead solo pastor of a church, is probably pretty well suited to who I am, what I can perceive quickly, how I'm able to work in a gifted setting. Other people have a different gift cluster. It could be preaching, but helps and let's see, encouragement. And so once again, they may be in that lead preaching pastoral role, but then they're also going to be used primarily in assisting the others in their organization through the gift of encouragement. And so what I'm getting at is that you want to think of yourself, instead of as a singular entity, you want to think of yourself almost as a Venn diagram. I know Kamala Harris has made those pretty doggone famous this last 4 years here in the United States. But a Venn diagram of an overlap of giftings, an overlap of things that you're good at, to find where is that sweet spot in the middle of the Venn diagram. What can you be doing, and in what way can you be doing it, and to whom can you be doing that, where it maximizes the nuance of who you are, as in what you're good at, the gifts that you have. And then, as much as possible, comfort zone principle here, as much as possible, that you should be singing into that sweet spot of who you are, while intentionally stretching at about 10% of your energy, effort, and time to increase some place of your deficiency, so that you're not disqualified for being too bad at one specific thing. So the gift cluster speaks to the nuance of the individual more than just an idea that, well, your gift is preaching, so you shouldn't really be teaching a class, or you shouldn't really be leading the board, or you shouldn't. No, it means that whatever you're doing, you take in that constellation of gifts, and then you try to find a way to utilize, to leverage those things for a specific category of usefulness. Now, when you're trying to position people in your organization, I would say that this is also key. You don't want to just think of them as Johnny or Jane one note. You want to get to know the individual and the nuances of who they are. And so it could be that somebody's gifted in sports and physicality and athleticism, and yet they also have a heart of encouragement, and they so you know what I'm saying. You find out more than just that key one primary gift, because that primary gift, although that should be a focus, finding the constellation of things that surrounds it will help you to identify how to leverage that gift for maximal effect. Gift cluster. People aren't just Jane or Johnny one note. There is a constellation of things that they are gifted at doing. And if you can find where those overlap, you'll find the spot of greatest efficiency, greatest return on investment, but also greatest joy for that individual and the people that they are working with and ministering towards.